Hey, welcome. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a great day. Today I'm going to give you an overview of our project, which is modified from what I normally do. So this video is going to be a little bit long, so grab a snack and your blanket and your puppy or whatever animal you have at home, or your mom maybe. So I'm going to go through it. So you are going to be doing a superheroes project modified from what I've done before. And it's going to answer the driving question in this first project, which is who are the superheroes in business and what are their superpowers? So you're going to be creating 3 different superheroes of your choice based on all the functions that we've been studying. So here's all the functions that we've been studying so far. In this class, you're going to pick 3 of them. So step 1, you're going to choose one superhero based on the functions that you're most familiar with. So for example, if your mom is a human resource director or you have one at work, maybe you want to choose that one because you're more familiar with it. And then I want you to choose 2 that you're not really familiar with, because really what you would normally be doing is diving into each of these. And we're just going to do a modified version of it. So choose 2 that you're not super familiar with. So if you really don't know much about finance, choose that one. Or if you just don't know about operations, choose that one. And things that you'd want to dive a little bit deeper into. So I have some examples of projects that students have done in the past. So I'm just going to show you one of them, and you can look at the others on your own time. So basically what you're going to be doing is by yourself instead of in a team. If you want to work in a team with somebody, can you just email me and I will talk to you about modifying the project for you. When you do your presentation, which will be the end of next week, you can do it by yourself, or if you want somebody else in on the Zoom, that's totally fine. So this is an example of a project a couple of kids did a couple of years ago, and I've changed it since then. So, and then yours is modified even beyond that. So you're going to pick 3 of the superheroes. This is an example of one. I'm going to challenge you to use 2 different programs that we haven't used yet, or maybe you have. One is called Slide Carnival, and the other one is called Slides Go. And that's where I think these came from. Just something a little bit more atypical from like Google Slides. It's a little bit more fun. So I'm going to challenge you to do that. So what you're going to be doing is creating a superhero. So this is HR woman. This is women actually. And then you're going to be creating her to have some superpowers. So for example, her wrist guards help to locate future potential employees. Her boots help her to stay on top of things. This one is a good example visually, but what I've done since then is you are going to be incorporating terminology from the reading that you've been doing. Instead of just having like general terms like these, you're going to actually be using more technical terminology, things that you wouldn't normally say on a daily basis. So you might not talk about employee evaluations. So that would be a term that you could use, or terms that you could use. So instead of saying her boots help her stay on top of things, you could say her boots help her to get to an employee evaluation meeting on time, something like that. Kind of a stretch. You're going to be putting your speaker notes in and highlighting any terminology that you use from the laps or the slides so that I can see that you've used it. And then also these slides need to be 6 by 6. So no more than about 6 bullets down, no more than about 6 words across, and you can definitely use more than one slide per superhero. So you can kind of see what she's done or they've done here with their superheroes. At the end, you're just going to be doing 3. There is a scenario. So your scenario is actually not going to be here. I'm going to ask you this during the Zoom meeting. So I'm going to ask you something like this. A major competitor introduces a project that is very similar to your top selling good or service. So I'll ask you something like that during the Zoom meeting, and then you'll tell me how each of the superheroes replies. So here's some examples of how these guys would reply. If you would rather incorporate that into your slideshow, so you don't have to wait till the last minute, just let me know. I can give you your scenario early. So after you look at the examples, you're going to look at the rubric to see what the requirements are of your project. And your rubric is pretty basic. Each of the 3 functions that you're going to choose, you're going to give some examples of what they would do. So first in our Zoom meeting, you'll introduce yourself, your grade, any activities that you're involved with. If you dress in a superhero costume, I'll probably only see your shirt. you get an extra credit, 2 points. This is a summative. So you're going to introduce us to your superhero first with his or her name, 3 to 5 common responsibilities that we, using terminology that we don't normally use. So that's going to come from your reading, the websites that we've used, the videos, the slides, and then you're going to relate those responsibilities to a superhero trait. For example, the wristwatch is used to detect social media traffic from a new promotion. So that's what you're going to do. And then you're going to elaborate on the superhero to you include some examples. So an example might be, let's just say for promotion that your dad owns his own company, and some of the marketing that they do include an Instagram post every week, and they also have a Facebook page that generates a lot of traffic, and their website is actually their #1 source of referrals. So not just saying they have a Facebook page, they have a website, but talk about how they're using it to market and what they're doing differently with it. So give some examples, either from your parents, from your work, maybe from a video that you use. So don't be general, be really specific with examples so that I can understand that you understand it. So the rest of the rubric is pretty much the same. Introduction to your superhero 2, elaboration on it, introduction to your superhero 3, elaboration on it. Then we'll have a little Q&A in your Zoom, and then make sure you watch your grammar and spelling on your slides. The slide should be 6x6 and 20-point font, or larger, but bigger is better. And then you'll do a summary at the end of your project. So I'll probably do a couple of screencasts during the week just to give you a little update on that, but honestly, you've got what you need here. So you're going to create your superhero. You can draw them if you want to, create it using any program that you want, or I put a link to 2 of them here. Sometimes one works better than the other, and you'll be able to create, no boobs, please, no crazy, bizarre, kids, oh, you kids. This hero machine works pretty cool, but you have to install Flash, I think. So if that makes you nervous, just use the other one or draw. If you're not a great drawer, I would suggest you using one of these programs instead. So then after you start creating, add the components to your superhero. For example, you might have a lasso that can capture any bad debt that might occur, or a shield that can deflect employee complaints to the proper person. So use some terminology from the reading. Name your superhero based on the functions that they're associated with. For example, like Franny Finance or Axel the accounting guy or something that's more clever than that. Your superhero must have 3 to 5 superpowers relating to his or her position. They can come from the reading or the labs, like I've said. I'm emphasizing this because this is like the main point of this assignment, is I want you to start using some business terminology. And if you don't take any other business classes, hopefully you'll be a little bit adept with them. The elaboration can come from your parents, your life, a video that you watched. The slide should follow the 6x6 rule. Font size, the slide notes are really, really important. I'm going to use those when I'm grading, so make sure you include those. Highlight the terminology in your slides. Should have proper grammar, vocabulary, professional layout. Study the scenario replies in the examples. There's 3 of them, and I might be asking you any of those or something else. And then you'll schedule a Zoom chat with me one-on-one. I'm going to plan to start those next week, Friday, so you have actually a lot of time to work on this. If you're ready Thursday, I'll probably set some up for Thursday. Actually, probably not. So Friday, the only thing that might change, I may need to go down and help with my mom in Arizona. And if that's the case, Zoom meetings might be a little bit more challenging to schedule. So we might have to spread this out a little bit, and I might have you actually start on your second project before we finish these Zoom meetings. So just need to be a little bit flexible with me with that. So I'll keep you posted on that. And that is all for today. You actually don't need to start on your superhero. I'll post everything, but you don't need to start on it until Tuesday. If you want to, of course you can, if you have time, and let me know if you're ready to present early. I hope you have a great weekend, and I miss you, and I wish that we could be together, but I hope you're making the most of it. Enjoy your day.